Hi, my literacy-based lesson is on retelling key details about a topic in informational literature for a kindergarten class. So I would start off my lesson by activating prior knowledge, and I would ask them, oh, who remembers in cooking class the other day when we were cooking quinoa soup and we chopped up all of these vegetables and we specifically said they were root vegetables? Who remembers what that means and what kind of vegetables that we chopped up? So activating prior knowledge, Bredekamp tells us, is very helpful for children. We want them to, we want to give them cues and hints and use questioning that sparks them to think about what they already know to connect with what they can build on to expand their knowledge. So that's why it's always important in the beginning to activate their prior knowledge. So hopefully they will say carrots, potatoes, and yuca. But if somehow they don't remember, I would give them hints and say, oh, remember we had to wash them off. They had a lot of dirt on them, stuff like that, kind of like make them remember. And, you know, I can always refer to our book that I'm using to model the lesson. And I would say, oh, wow, so look at this book. We're going to learn about how these vegetables grow today. And this is the front cover of the book. And the front cover has a picture of carrots and it shows how they grow. How are they growing? And so someone might say, oh, they're growing underground. And I'll say, oh, and I look at the title of the book. And the title tells me carrots grow underground. So both the picture and the title of the book, the front cover and the title, are telling me, ooh, how these vegetables grow. So carrots are a root vegetable. Now, if there's some confusion about root vegetables and roots, I might just say, oh, well, I might draw a tree and draw some roots and explain that all plants have roots and that's where they get their water and their nutrients. But do we eat the roots of a tree? No, we don't. But there are certain vegetables that we eat that grow and they're called roots, and that's why they're called root vegetables. So once I explain that, I will then go over the things we found out chart and say, oh, our last topic was lettuce. And we tracked all these things about lettuce and where, when, what, how they grow. And I might go over a question or two, like what does lettuce need to grow? Lettuce needs to grow in rich, moist, or wet, so moist means wet, soil. So this question can have many answers. So it's important to use open-ended questions so that it can spark the children's thinking, get them critically thinking. And Bredekamp does say that open-ended questions promote rich conversations. So I would then, once we model with this so that they can kind of remember the formulation of the questions, I will go to a page in Carrots Grow Underground and I will model for them. So I might go to page 9. So the little subtitle here is growing. So it says carrots start as tiny seeds. You see, here they are. They're little tiny seeds being planted in the soil. They are planted in cool weather. In 1 to 3 weeks, seedlings slowly grow above the soil. So I might act out, I may point to pictures, and these are for students who are English language learners so they can get more of the gist of what's going on in the book. So then I might say, well, a question I might have is, how do carrots grow? So my question could be, my answer, could be multiple things again. I could say carrots grow in cool weather as one detail. I can say carrots grow in 1 to 3 weeks, another detail. And I could say carrots grow slowly. The seedlings grow slowly above the soil, right? So the carrot tops grow above the soil. So those are examples I could give them on how carrots grow. So then I might ask them to answer the question, how do carrots grow? So I want you to think, how do carrots grow? I'm going to read the passage, and then you're going to turn and talk to your partner about what you learned more about how carrots grow. So then I might say, I would read, Under the soil, the carrots grow longer and thicker. Deep, loose soil helps carrots grow long and straight. Straight, like a straight line. So turn and talk to your partners and talk about how do carrots grow? What did you learn on page 11? So I would go around, listen to their conversations, and see if they were getting the gist of what's going on. And students who may have trouble extracting details, they may wind up going into a small group and working with a teacher's assistant with a KWL chart. So they might use this Carrots Grow Underground book as an example and start filling out what do they already know. So from what I already told them, they know that carrots grow underground. They know that carrots start as tiny seeds, little things like that. Then the teacher would work with them on, or the teaching assistant, sorry, on what do they want to know? And that's where they would make their questions, and they can use this chart to spark their knowledge of questioning, and then they would fill out what they learned. So when we're done with the mini lesson, I would then tell them that they're going to go into their reading groups and they will have time to read a book about either a root vegetable or another kind of vegetable. So students that are maybe mid-level or need more support, I might have them read about another root vegetable because they'll have some similar details in there. But students who can grasp more concepts and they have a higher reading level, I might actually give them a book about another kind of vegetable. You know, I have apples grow on a tree, or blueberries grow on a bush. So I might give them other options to read. So students will be reading anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. I would say maybe 5 to 7 minutes, and I'll have a timer going, and I will go around and see how they're doing with reading with their partners. And I also, sorry, I was supposed to tell them they're going to be reading with their partners, and they're going to be asking questions. So they're going to do questioning with their partners, like a question and answer kind of thing. So as they are doing that, I will go around and watch what are their reading habits with this partner. How are they reading together? Are they taking turns reading? And I have a note-taking, I have a note-taking template. So here I would put the task or activity. So this one would be partner reading. And then I would put what my standards are. And I would put the students' names and my comments just so I can track what they were doing. And it says, so I've also learned that Vygotsky believes when a child begins to learn a new concept, they benefit from working with peers and the teacher. So he also believes in scaffolding, which we learned from both Mooney and Bredekamp. And observations in their natural environments can help to drive and design instruction. This is from Mooney, Vygotsky. So this would be one of the tools I would be using to do observations of partners, observations of individuals. I would do also questioning. So if I don't hear them asking their partner questions, I might ask them a question about the book, an open-ended question to spark their thinking and see what they say so I could see where they are at. So once they are done reading with their partners, the next activity would be the arts. So they'll have a time to create a visual representation of what they're learning about. So I will have, for example, streamers. So this one is really cute. It has purple carrots and a regular carrot, right? And so there'll be streamers that they can create vegetables out of. There'll be a table that has clay. So here is a clay carrot. And they'll have an opportunity at a later time to paint them. So there's a clay carrot, and then this was, sorry, it's clay lettuce. It doesn't look so good now. But it's very important to let them use hands-on materials and different ways to manipulate things so they can learn more about the topic and actually learn more about the details about the topic that they're learning in their books. Because Reggio Emilia says, and this is in Bredekamp, that these are symbolic representations, visual representations of what they're learning to help to connect them to what they're learning. So if we go back to what they learned about lettuce the first time, we notice that the lettuce kind of looks like a flower that's standing up, right? And then this would be the part that would go in the ground, sort of like the roots. But then look at the carrot. The carrot would have to lay flat, which shows that, oh, it must, it must go underground, right? So these would be very interesting ways of having them learn more about how these vegetables or fruits grow. So then once they're done, oh, they would also have paper and pencils so they can also be drawing. Some of the kids who are ELLs might work on drawing little cards, note cards. So this is carrot, zanahoria, and different ones, labeling them in English and Spanish. They might write little like details on the back, to spark their memory. And after they do that, they will do writing. So they'll have another 5 to 7 minutes to do that. And as I see that certain people are ready, they can move into the other areas. And the next thing will be a small writing piece, and they'll have 5 to 7 minutes to do that as well. So for kids that need more support, they may have, sorry, this is just one that I drew up very, very quickly. They may have a bubble organizer that has their topic in the middle, and they're just going to record their details around here, and I'd probably include at least 2 more bubbles just in case. Other students who would like to work on sort of like an informational page, they'll have a space to draw and a space to record details in sentences, in sentence form, and they'll have some of these. And then students will also have the opportunity, if they want to write a riddle, if they want to write a poem, if they would like to write a song about their vegetable or their fruit, they will have that opportunity as well. So the writing will be individual, but they can work with their partners on it, because I will be using the writing sample to gauge what they're learning as well. So it'll be conversations with the students, observing them in their natural environment, and then also actually taking a writing sample to look at how is their writing progressing, because sometimes students learn to write before they learn to read really well, which is very interesting. So I just want to give them the practice with writing, and so in each lesson they have a little bit of practice with writing. So from there, I have other supports for ELL. So this would be for Spanish-speaking students. I have blank grows on the ground, blank crece sobre la tierra, with little drawings, right? And then for someone that is progressing a little bit more, I may just have it in English with drawings so they can relate to the drawings. Blank grows on the ground, and then I have something growing on the ground. Blank is a leaf vegetable, which is what we previously learned about lettuce. And then blank grows below ground. There's a little tuber below ground. Blank is a root vegetable, and here's a root. So I may have some of these supports available for students. And then at the end, when we wrap it up, we will go back to sharing questions that they had, right? So we may have a collection of questions, sorry I didn't say earlier, that they may have had when I was reading this book, this book aloud to them. I may have asked them, oh, what questions do you have about carrots? And then I may have jotted some of them down to record later, and then ask them at the end of the lesson, so did you get answers to your questions? And then from there, I can record answers to their questions. I would have some students share, what did they learn? What was their topic? And what were the key details they learned? And they would also share in their groups. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed my lesson. It will be online and with more information. Thank you so much.